Hello again, my little conscripts, and welcome to another Mordian Glory video. But is it even a Mordian Glory video? For I am joined by the man, the myth, the admiral, Salty Simon. How are you doing today, my saline partner in crime?
All right.
Are you looking forward to Christmas?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I thought I'd get to find out what I get in my Bolt Action box set.
Nice.
Debbie's refusing to tell me.
Well, that's good. It should be a surprise.
Well, it will be a surprise.
Well, has she opened it up?
Yeah, because I'd ordered the Army book for Great Britain, so I was just like, you're not wrapping a present that I paid for myself.
Fair enough. So, I mean, we're recording this on the 22nd December. By the time it goes out, Christmas very well may have come and gone, and maybe even New Year. So it's going to be interesting when we next touch base. We will know what the Army is, which will be kind of. So that's
you want to
cool.
be British Airborne now?
I mean, it's not the end of the world if it's British Airborne.
Do have a lot of airborne.
You have a. You can ever. Can you? Well. Can you ever have too much? This is almost perfectly executed link, my friend, because this is actually the topic of today's video, which is, and actually I want to say Simon came up with today's topic, which probably explains why it's actually quite interesting and not just boohoo 40k boohoo, and which is what normally happens when I come up with a topic of conversation. So Simon, the question is that you have posited to myself, yourself, and the viewers back home: how many armies is too many armies?
Well, how many is the correct number?
Or how many is the right number? Too few, too many, or just right? That's the question.
Yeah.
Now, I personally think that it's absolute sacrilege, and that the pile of shame must grow, the hobby room must grow, the Warhammer overspill must grow. I feel, as a man who owns a small number of Lehman Russes, 22, that I still have more Lehman Russes that I need for. Actually, I'm up to more than that now, because I got some of the ones for my blood pack, so I'm up to about 24 Lehman Russes now. So I feel like there's no such thing as too many. But you think that there may be a point where a player gets too many armies, and so that's the thing we're going to discuss today. And we're going to not discuss how many is too many, but how many game systems is too many potentially. All this kind of stuff.
That's a whole different video at that point.
Oh, I think we could get it done today. I
think we caveat this as for your main game system.
Well, maybe towards the end we won't put labels on it, Simon. We won't put boxes around it. Wherever the conversation goes is wherever the conversation goes.
Yeah, look, Christmas is it's the 22nd. Christmas in 3 days. I can't still be here on Christmas with you prattling on.
Man, what an episode. A 3-day mega episode. A test of endurance between the two of us. Except for you just bugger off after like an hour.
Yeah, I mean, I'd literally get Football Manager on the other screen and just zone out.
He had that up. So I was like, Simon, your camera's a bit laggy. And he went, oh, don't worry, I'll fix it. And I went, what are you doing? Oh, I turned off Football Manager. I was like, wait, were you going to play Football Manager whilst we were chatting?
No, not when we were chatting, when you're just talking at me and I'm like, right, I'm just going to give him 10 minutes to have a moment, and then I'll wait for you to pause breath, and then I'll chime in.
Do you normally do this? This is why I'll go off and make what I think is a really good point, and your response will just be, yeah.
No, not at all, because if someone makes a very good point and I agree with it, I mean, I don't need to glaze you for it, do I? I'll just go, yeah, that's a good point.
Glaze me. Cover me in the honey, Simon.
I'll just go, yeah, that's a good point. And that's it. You don't need any. You don't need anything more than that.
Do you want to know something that's completely off topic but related to glazing?
No, I really don't.
I made honey glazed carrots and parsnips last night for the Sunday roast, and Mrs. Mordian said that they were the tastiest carrots and parsnips she's ever had.
Right. I mean, she has to say that, really. Again.
No.
She's very nice. Your better half, to be honest. She's far too lovely to say anything.
She's very nice in front of guests, but
Yeah.
Otherwise she's ruthless.
So she should be. This is why I feel like I have to give you lots of shit, because she seems so lovely that I'm like, does he get enough shit that he deserves? So better just double up just to make sure.
How much shit is too much shit? Back to today's conversation.
Plenty. Even more.
Back to today's conversation. So, Simon.
Yes.
Shall we get back on topic? I say we.
Yes.
Shall I get back on topic?
Yes. Yeah.
And do you want to start us off with a number, a question, your scientific method?
Well, you see, because we talked on Friday and we agreed that this was going to be the topic we were going to talk about today. And so I went away, you know what, I'm going to do a bit of prep for this. And so I've gone away and had a think, spent a bit of time this weekend having a think. And I've come up with, because I think the number varies depending on you, and there's certain rules to that. And you rocked up to this chat that I've been preparing for over the weekend and went, what are we talking about today? I've forgotten.
Well, I thought it was how many units is too many for an army, but I still didn't prepare.
No, not the slightest.
I just operate.
Forgot what we were talking about, and I'm like, right, okay, let's do something. We'll prepare a bit. We'll go, let's actually pose some questions other than.
I don't need to prepare. I know all. I see all. Like I will have the answers based off my instinct. That's it.
Oh, right.
I've gut instinct. There you go.
So what's the answer?
42.
42. Fair enough. Right.
See, I was quick with it.
Yeah. Okay, but like in 40k, there's only like 28 armies. I think that's.
Oh yeah, but I have 3 guard armies.
That's still only a guard army. That only counts as 1 army.
Ooh. Does it though?
Yes.
Okay. So
that poses into. So I think the answer is, in true Simon style, it depends.
See, that's a non-committal bullshit answer.
And it depends on certain factors.
Okay,
so for some people, the number is 1.
Okay,
right?
So the Member of Parliament for the Salty Sea, Simon, has entered, and he's giving all his non-committal answers. All right, go on. Why does it depend?
Well, I think there's 5 different things that makes, and this is slightly 40k focused, okay?
Okay.
But I think there's 5 different things that makes that number change.
All right. So shall we go through one at a time, or are they interlinked?
No. We can go through one at a time. Let's go through that.
All right, I'm excited. So number 1, factor numero uno.
Right, is, do you like different play styles? Or are you like you? So, I like my guard for tanks. I've got big stompy robots. So I like my horde army with the Necrons, right? Whereas you go, right, how can I make this like the Imperial Guard?
My answer to that question is no comment.
So,
Do you know what's funny? You literally said, do you like different play styles? And in my head, I went, no.
So, whereas I do. So, I like my little elite uppy downy. I like, that. So for me, and that might be because I get bored easily, but I bet there'll be other people who go, you know what, today I feel like playing, like it's got to sound like, what's he called now? The guy from FIFA. Today I feel like Qatari. But today
it's a sport thing. I don't do sport.
Yeah, of course you don't. But today I feel like running lots of tanks, so I'm going to get my Steel Legion out, and then the next day I'm going to be like, you know what, I quite fancy running Silver Tide and going Horde.
Okay. But what if one day you're like, I want to run loads of infantry with this army, and then the next day you go, I want to run loads of infantry but with this army instead, and the next day you go, I want to run loads of infantry but with this army instead?
But you don't, because your natural inclination is just to, every time you're playing like Imperial Guard Tau, in that vacuum on top of your shoulders, you're secretly thinking, I want to be playing Guard.
No, I actually quite like playing Tau, but I don't like playing. But I don't like playing Tau with battle suits.
Yeah.
No, see, I think that's an interesting point. Being serious for a moment, I know. But I think that there is an element of wanting to play different play styles. But I do. So I think if you like want to play a swarm army, there are certain armies which are going to naturally lead into that a little bit more. And there are certain armies which, if you want to play more elite, like you can make the most elite guard army you want, but it's still not custodian.
Yeah,
is it?
yeah. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, guard, Garden is a good example of, you do have a lot of different play styles. But, and again, we're talking general here, or I'm talking general. If you like to play a horde type army where you want 300 infantry, you don't need Grey Knights. You don't need Custodes. You don't need Imperial Knights. You don't need...
That's true.
So actually, if you have a preferred play style that you just like to play that play style, you enjoy it more than all, then that probably reduces the number of armies. Now, yeah, you might decide, coming back to a later point, that actually you like to play Horde with 4 or 5 different armies. That's fine, but that would be a factor.
No, you're absolutely right. And there are certain armies that I will never go near. Like I mean,
but you said that about Tau.
Getting the Tau was more of proving a point than anything else. That, I'm not going to upset the whole Tau community, but it did take a guard player to come along and show them how to actually run their army in 10th edition. And the amount of people that I've had reach out to me, and literally, I actually have, more than I'd say 2 or 3 dozen Tau players now that are part of the MG community, and they're like full-blown Tau players. They're not guard players with Tau; they're Tau players, and they've all said like it's actually, since I started trying out the guardified Tau, as you called it, and not just putting breaches and spam in Devilfish and spamming battle suits, that I've been doing a lot better. And I just think that's quite funny.
And are these Tau players in the room with us now?
They are in the room with us now. Yeah, I can actually name one of them if you want. I'll do a shout out to channel member Dark Knight Curran. He's a very good lad. Yeah, he used to get. It's interesting. We used to disagree on a lot of stuff. We used to disagree, like quite.
He sounds like a smart chap then.
But it's funny because recently, he's like, I've just started trying out the things that you were saying, and it's been really good. So there you go. There you are.
Well, but that is a factor. It's not like I like Horde, I'm only having one army, but it factors in because it's very nuanced, I've decided. Like everything, nuance.
No, I think it's pretty straightforward, right? So what you do is collect guard, and then you've got every play style. There's only one army you should collect, which is guard.
Well, there you go. But then you've got...
Question solved. Episode over. 12 minutes in. Big bang boom. Back to bolt action. Conflict 47. No, so I think that's a good point. There are certain armies which... See, there are certain armies which I know I would like to try out, but I probably would struggle to commit to. So, for example, Custodes. I think Custodes would be cool to try out, but I think I would probably struggle to actually enjoy them because my method of playing doesn't really fit into the way that Custodes are fundamentally designed to be like built. I like to send out...
You mean you can't have 300 Custodes on a single board?
To be fair, with all the points decreases they've been getting, you're not far off. You can now run max Custodian Guard, and it's not even like 1,500 points or something crazy. It's not even... It's like 1,200 points. They're so cheap now, yeah. But the point is, like, I like to play because of the nature, and you'll know this because you did this with your Raven Guard when you used them at the tournament beginning of the year. You take lots of like shitty units and you send them out, and then because everyone's playing such elite armies, they have to like send a 400-point unit out to kill your 100-point unit because that's all they've got in their toolbox, and then you hit them with your mega unit, and so that's how I like to play. And I feel like with Custodes, I'd probably struggle to do that because all you've got is mega units.
So it's like Grey Knights.
I was going to say, similar, yeah.
How am I going to lose this 150-point army that's, unit that's squishy? Or not squishy, but, that's a different mindset as opposed to here's a 60-point unit of chaff.
And I think I struggle with Grey Knights because there's I think there's like a lack of ranged damage, and I like to have tanks. I like tanks and tank equivalent, and even a Predator would do. I've recently come with the idea that Grey Knight should have a Predator with a side cannon, like a big side cannon on it. I think that would be cool. Or a Razorback with a big side cannon on it, or a Land Raider with big side cannons on it.
And this is why our fundamental we're very, because I enjoy getting pissed off and grumpy about it, but I do enjoy the fact that playing that army that is a completely different play style to my main army, which is my guard.
Yeah, that is different, because I mean, I don't so I suppose it kind of comes down to, and we're sort of delving a little bit deeper into this, but that's like the point, you know, like where it's have an initial question and then sort of mine it down to the core kind of thing. I suppose it comes, I don't particularly enjoy armies which have, how to put this, it's a bit difficult. I don't mind armies having capability gaps. Sometimes I don't, but I don't like it when I feel like they have a gap they shouldn't have.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's anything wrong with Grey Knights having like Predators and stuff. I see that as a gap that they have which they shouldn't have. But I don't think Grey Knights should necessarily you know, be able to run like a Horde style army. I don't think there should be like Grey Knight chaff running around.
Yeah, no, completely agree.
So yeah, I mean, Custodians have got better tanks than Grey Knights, which is a bit weird to me.
Yeah, that's always been a bit odd, but.
So yeah, I guess that's my thinking. So first question is, what's your play style?
Or do you like different play styles?
That's true. Okay. So what's question number 2?
So number 2 is how bad your OCD is, and are you a completionist?
Okay, I like that one. Explain a bit more.
So, right, I think we've established I do have a healthy dose of OCD.
Oh yeah.
I think we're, you know, sons in the family, and every time
just to give people an idea, one of the biggest advantages of a game like Warhammer: The Old World is that if you're 5 points over on a list, you can just drop one guy out of a brick. So if you've got like 24 on a brick in maybe like 6x4, you can just go down to 23, and yeah, you'll have a little gap at the back, but the moment that they get shot at the first time, there's going to be a gap at the back, so it doesn't really matter. And Simon will just apply his modern 40k brain to this, be like, well, no, I can't have less than the full brick, so I'll have to rewrite my entire army list to make sure that all the bricks are the right size. And I'm just there like, oh, I'll just run like 38 state troops instead of 39 with the cats, and you can just see it's like twitching, you just can't take it. So okay, so how bad is your army building OCD?
Well, yeah, but like if I come into your room with the pile of shame that you've got, that makes me a sad panda. I could not live like that. I do wonder how you live. I mean, it's just like, what is up with you monster? Absolute monster. So
I'm just built different, Simon. I'm just built different.
But if you're a completionist, right? If you want to go, if you don't want to have lots of in your pile of shame, and actually what you want to do is go, I've got this army and it's complete, you know, or it's not complete, but whenever I get a new models, whatever, but I've literally got a bit of everything that I need for this army, and then you don't want to have 5 or 6 different armies because you'll always be playing catch up.
Actually, you went in a slightly different direction there than I thought you were going to say. I thought what you were going to say, and I actually think it's not the wrong direction. I think there's actually 2 angles.
Oh, that's very kind of you.
No, I think there's genuinely 2 angles to this. So, on the one hand, do you stick with one army because there's an element of if you only ever have to worry about like one army, and if a new unit comes out, you can just sort of buy 3 of them, and suddenly you're back up to date. And you've got your rule of 3 sorted out.
Yeah.
What I thought was interesting is the angle you were going to go for is, do you collect an army? So you collect a faction up to like 2,500 points, and then you consider it sort of like that army's done. And so you know how a little bit. I know. I mean, no matter what topic, I'm always going to talk about it, Simon. You know how in Bolt Action,
yeah,
and a little bit like Old World as well. Your Italian army hasn't changed in about 10 years.
Considering it's only 2 years old, but apart from that, yeah.
Your Italian army hasn't changed in 2 years. You've bought it, you painted it, it's self-contained, bing, bang, boom, done.
Well, you say that. I've got about 20 there waiting to go.
20, fair enough.
Yeah,
but
yeah, that's a fair point. Yeah, but essentially, yeah.
Yeah, and it's kind of, no, it's all right. I wouldn't expect anything else. But it's kind of similar to, like, you know, Japanese for me. A lot of my bot action armies are pretty self-contained. And so because they're self-contained, I actually have quite a lot of bot action armies because I don't worry about them changing all that much. I build them up to, you know, they're meant to be like 1250 points. I build them up to maybe about 2000 points, and then that just means I can just swap.
You've got the options. Yeah.
So there's sort of two approaches to this. Do you collect if you're someone that, you know, the question of is too many armies too many, are you someone that is going to collect an army and basically get it to 2500 points, maybe 3000 points, and then that's it?
Yeah,
that's done.
Yeah.
Or are you someone who is going to basically completely no life one faction and end up with 22 Leman Russes?
But again, that depends on which faction you're choosing, because if it's Emperor's Children, that's a lot easier than Imperial Guard.
I mean, that's actually a really, like, I do find that a lot of people ending up with Guard. So as like almost like a final army that they go to, because they collect a lot of smaller factions. Like, oh, I'm going to collect a little bit of AdMech, or I'm going to collect a little bit of like Sister Battle or something, and they've only got like a dozen data sheets per faction, and they come over to the Guard and they're like, wait, I've got 60 data sheets. And then they almost end up staying with the Guard, because as you said, they've got such a varied play style that they end up realizing that if they wanted to run mech, they can. If they want to run tanks, they can. If they want an infantry horde, they can. If they want to blah 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 blah. So yeah, I think that's an interesting factor. Do you sort of want lots of small armies, or do you want to basically have one big army?
Yeah.
What if you have multiple big armies?
Well, you're a glutton for punishment.
I think that you made an interesting point, though. The idea of you're always playing catch up.
Yeah.
Because 40k changes a lot.
Yeah.
Do you think that? Now you've been playing since 8th?
Yeah.
Do you? And I think we could both agree that I think 10th edition has been a good edition, but definitely one that's maybe had the most changes. Because I feel like in 9th, factions would only go through one change. They would come out broken and then get the paid to triple nerf into the ground.
Every faction other than what Space Marines and Tyranids had indexed detachments, didn't, or did for a longer period of time. I know Space Marines and Tyranids did for a month or two. So you've had that, and then you've had the Grotmus detachments twice. Then you've had the it's probably been the most regular balanced data slate updates throughout. So
you're very good at doing them on the 3 months every.
Yeah, so I think it has been an addition for your army not getting stale, for want of a better word. Because I mean, if you go back to Guard and you go from 8th to the end of 9th, I mean, God, I started playing 2018. I think I came back in literally I think Guard was the most recent codex when I walked into the Games Workshop store and bought the rule book and the Guard codex, and it was the most recent. And then we didn't get a codex until the end of 9th.
Yeah, correct.
Which was the back end of
5
22.
years. We got 5 years. 5 years.
Yeah.
Same
so that, and it didn't, you had tank commanders or the, few bits and pieces, but essentially you were still running. If you wanted to run Steel Legion, you re-roll ones to hit when you get off, and that was your rule for 5 years.
Yeah.
And it was shit. There's a rule, but there you go.
Wasn't it? Didn't we get the? We got like.
You got tank ace rules, and
no, didn't Steel Legion have like you could rapid fire out to like 18 inches?
Oh yeah, that was the other thing.
It was all right actually. Yeah, it wasn't too bad. I think it was the Cadians that had the reroll ones, and then the Catachans completely took over the Cadians because they had Harker, which gave everyone reroll ones. So it's like, why would you play Cadians when you can just play
Catch-a-chance. So they had something for when you got out. Or it might have been a stratagem or something.
I think it was a stratagem. Yeah.
That's where I've got that from.
I think it was a stratagem, and it was one command point, and you got to reroll ones to hit when you got out or something.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
So empowered, so good.
So yeah, I mean, I guess that. So I mean, that actually comes to we're getting on to one of my other golden rules about selecting how many armies you should have. But I think it is literally because I sit in, I'm looking at because I've got all my armies in Karl multi-cases and they're all sort of up here. And I keep looking at my Necrons going, I haven't got Illuminor Xeris, I haven't got any Ophidians, I haven't got any. And I'm just thinking about what I haven't got in that army. And I'm then going, I need to complete it, I need to complete it, I need to complete it.
Yeah. Yeah, I find I get armies to at best like 80%, and then my attention gets drawn away to something else. I mean, this is my curse, because I don't like having unfinished projects, but I also like shiny new things. So I'm just kind of permanently just I feel that's one of the things I have to say I like about I like that 10th edition has tried to keep things relatively fresh, although I think there has been. I think 2025 things got a little stale, but they seem to have pulled it out of the bag going into 2026, which is good. But I have to say it's what I do quite like about some of my non-GW armies, where like my Empire, I haven't added anything to my. I built everything for my Empire basically in the first year. In the second year of having my Empire, I added 30 great swords. That's it. Yeah, that's it. I haven't needed anything else. So I actually feel like I have completed my Empire army.
Yeah, it's a nice feeling, isn't it?
It's a very nice feeling. I haven't completed my Orcs and Goblins, but I've nearly completed them. Any other armies I feel like I've completed? I feel like I've completed my Soviets, and at this point, I'm just adding shit to them because I want to. Same with my Germans. I have absolutely no reason to buy any more Soviets or Germans, and I'm just there like, I should lend-lease myself a lead into my Soviets. They had them in like one battle. Yeah, probably shouldn't though. So yeah, I think collect armies that are in. I will say this, and I think it's an important point. In the course of, so over the course of 8th edition, I massively expanded the number of armies that I had.
Yeah, because you kept, every time I saw you, had a different army.
Yeah, and I had, I went from having just Guard to having 3 Guard armies.
Yeah.
And those armies got expanded themselves as well. Yeah. And then I had my Gene Stealer Cult and my Black Templar. So I went from 1 army to basically 5.
Yeah.
And then over 9th edition, I actually just added the Death Guard. And I only really added the Death Guard because I got a really good deal on them.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, well, if it's a good deal, I might as well get it.
For it.
Yeah. And then at the end of 9th, but really it was 9th going into 10th, I got my Tyranids. And my Tyranids are actually the only army that I've added during 10th.
Yeah.
And I haven't used them in probably, I mean, maybe it might be like 18 months, maybe. Because
it's been a while. I can't remember the last time we played it.
Yeah, you actually were the last person to use my Tyranids in that.
Really? Oh, bloody hell.
When we were testing out like different detachments with the new Guard Codex.
Yeah.
And you beat my ass, and I was like, you're a very natural Tyranid player, Simon. You really should consider, like, if not, you don't have to like buy your own army, but you should consider using the channel Tyranid army more often.
But I just don't like them.
Which is fair enough. But yeah, I feel like 10th edition, I'm actually getting to the point where I think I might, for the first time, sell some of my armies.
Oh, what are you thinking of getting rid of?
I mean, I love my Gene Stealer Cult army.
Yeah.
But they were I loved them in 8th edition, and in 9th edition, they fucked them up. In 10th edition, they fucked them up. I think if we get to 11th edition, and they've still fucked them up, I might have to sell them.
Take the bloody hell.
Because I've used them.
Yeah.
I used them twice in 9th, and I've used them once in 10th.
Yeah.
I mean, I love the army because it was a real passion project. It's all Brotherhood of Nod, and it's all very, very. I don't want to sell it, but there's like, what's the point of having an army which I literally use?
Yeah.
Because GW has changed the playstyle of them.
Oh, so it's not a Horde army anymore.
Well, it's just, it's not even the Horde army.
With sarcasm.
No, the sarcasm's fine. It's not the Horde army. It's just the shitty army rules. Like, your army rule is, oh, you get to bring some units back. And it's like, that's not really an army rule, is it? That's just you just giving me some free units.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So
we're off my point at this point now.
I don't think we are, because let me bring, because my point is, how many armies is too many?
Yeah.
Well, when you get to the point when you're not using them.
Well, that's very good. That wasn't one of my rules, actually.
It wasn't.
No.
Yeah. I've used my Tau more than I've used my Gene Stealer Cult.
Yeah.
And my Gene Stealer Cult, I'm just not feeling they just don't play the way I want them to play. So, and it sounds crazy. Maybe my Black Templars as well.
Yeah.
I haven't used my Black Templars.
I think you used them since Adepticon, have you?
I used them for some like intro games in 10th, and that was it.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't want to sell them because I really, really love. I've got loads of lore and stuff built up around them, but at the end of the day, I've just got an army which sits there doing sweet FA.
Yeah.
And the reason why I haven't, and this is my final point, which leads us back to how many armies is too many. The reason I've not kept up with my Gene Stealer Cult and kept up with my Black Templars is because they nerfed the playstyles for them that I enjoyed. And then because of the nature of the way 10th edition is built with things like free war gear, I would have to put a lot of money into updating them so that they were actually properly viable, because I get no bonus for not running enough special weapons on my neophytes, but I built my army so that they didn't all have, there were some just basic shit bunch of rifle squads, right?
Yeah.
So it's like what you said, going back to your original point, I'm playing catch up, and because of the nature of the flux of 10th edition, I've basically been catching up with Guard non-stop. But actually, if I'm putting all my effort into playing one army, does that mean I shouldn't have the other armies I'm not even looking at anymore?
Yeah.
So yeah, there you go. So very interesting point there, Simon. I thought it raised a good drill.
I thought so.
What's the next one?
Right. Question 3. It's not a rule. Right. How competitive are you? How much of a meta / how much of a meta chaser, or that is key. So
I think that's huge. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you want to have, if you've only got one army and you want to, and it's not in a good place, but you're very competitive, or you're going to have a bad time. Whereas if you've got 4 or 5 armies, in theory, unless you're very unlucky, you should always have one of those armies that is above average.
That is a good point. If you are a competitive player, I think that also comes down to the nature of, it's like what we said before, armies which have more options than others. So I think there are armies like, I think you could probably say this for Grey Knights, for example, which are more at the whim of balanced data slates because they can't pivot as much. Because if they kick a clutch out from under you, there are some armies which I think Custodians go through this a lot, like, Custodians are just bad for the next 2 months. All right, back on the shelf they go, and I'll pull the other one off. Yeah,
and that's the point. So if I was still playing competitive on a regular basis, I've got 5 armies that I can choose from. That actually, if Imperial Knights are really good, I'll take Imperial Knights. If Space Marines are very good, I can take Space Marines. If Grey Knights are very good, so I've got those options. If you only got 1 or 2 options and they're both in a bad place, you haven't got those options.
I think that's I like that as an idea. It's interesting. So as a slightly different perspective, I think this is not just a question of, and it kind of leads on to what we were sort of saying at the very beginning of the video. For me, I like playing guard, and you know I have one playstyle, and I like that playstyle, and you know,
yeah,
that's it, right? If guard doesn't work, I can pivot to other armies, but sometimes an entire playstyle doesn't work. And then it's like, do you pivot to another game system?
Which is exactly what you've just been through.
Which is exactly what I've just been to with Conflict 47. Like, I tell you what, man, like, you know, you're going to laugh because you are going to say, of course you have. So what do you think I've been paying for the last couple of weeks?
God. Oh, what, you mean you've been playing K47 and then since the codex has dropped, the new detachment, you've pivoted and started painting guard again?
So not quite, actually. So no. Okay, I'll narrow it down a little bit. It's not 40k.
Yeah.
It's a faction in K47 and in Mainbot Action.
Yeah.
And it's an army that really scratches my guard itch. And I've been painting a very specific...
Soviets.
Yeah, and what do you think I've been painting for my Soviets?
Infantry, probably.
A lot of infantry. Conscripts.
I was thinking, yeah.
Now, Simon, how many Italian infantry do you own? Roughly.
Painted about 40.
How many
45.
British airborne infantry do you own?
Similar.
I'm currently working through my latest batch of 100 Soviet infantry.
You need to get some daylight. Honestly.
And so you can only take one victory banner in your army, but I'm currently working on my second victory banner, and I'm going to be buying the limited edition one that's part of the advent calendar right now as well.
Yeah.
Now, why? Obviously, I've got a problem.
Yes. Yeah.
But also, on topic, why?
Yes, that's one way of putting it. You have a problem. Yeah.
You know I have one playstyle. You know that I have one thing that I like to do. If I can't do that in 40k...
You'll do it elsewhere.
I'll do it elsewhere. And so it comes down to, like, I want to paint hordes of infantry. I'm going to do it with the games as well. So I think that is a factor. Like, do you want to like bounce around? Are you going to like no life one army? If so, you have to sort of go with the ebbs and flows. But I think even if you no life one army, you're still going to go through those times when you end up getting something else.
Yes.
What about you? So you don't have one playstyle, but you like certain armies to do certain things.
Yes. Yeah.
So like your Necrons, like Silver Tide and stuff.
Well, that's how I like my Necron. That's my original. So I could have taken Guard Horde, but I went, no, I'm going to take Necron Horde because that seems more fun. So my armies I've got, and this is where. So I've got my Guard. They're my I would say they're my main army. I like them to be mechanized. Absolutely love those as mechanized. I've got my Grey Knights, which is an elite army. Bit of movement shenanigans. I've got my Necrons, who I generally like to try and run as Horde as much as possible. That would be my preferred playstyle, hence the reason I've not got some bits and pieces. Then I've got my Raven Guard, because they're cool. And then I've got Imperial Knights for massive, great, big, stompy robots. So for me, whereas I could probably play my Guard as Horde, I did actually get enough Steel Legion models painted up to run them as Horde. But in my world, if I want to take a Horde army, I'll take out the Necrons. If I want to play a tank army, I'll take out the Steel Legion. If I want to play, here just I'm going to stand on shit with my big feet, I'll take my, that's how I like to do it.
Do you it feels like you don't massively play catch up with any of your armies. Like you just have an approach of, as we said earlier, you just take one off the shelf if their playstyle's good and put one on the shelf if their playstyle is bad.
That's how I like to do it. But then sometimes it's like I enjoyed, I fell a bit out with my Grey Knights, and then we took them to the Christmas, what event, if you call it an event, and really enjoyed the, having a bit of a laugh with a big block of paladins punching, corn, what the big corn things, tank things, and
Lord of Skulls.
Lord of War, punching those to death. So that was quite good fun. So I was like, I want to play this again. But then again, the other thing as well is though, I fell out of love with Grey Knights, but I was playing you all the time with them, and it was permanently a really shit matchup for me because I had nowhere to put it.
Wait, what do you mean taking inquisitorial blobs with two deeper than 12 inches?
But you're playing it, and it's kind of like, well, I'm playing this. I'm just bouncing with this because I'm playing an army that is just a hard counter to what I'm trying to do. So I fell out of love with them. But then actually, I played him against a few different people when I had places where I can deep strike. I had, actually, I could kill something because they weren't guardsmen that kept coming back. I was just like, actually, I really do enjoy this play style. I've just not played it for a while.
Yeah. So what you're saying is I ruined your Grey Knights for you.
You did for a while, yeah. I'm going to be honest, yeah,
nice.
But yeah, so that's and you can expand this about the competitive. Is do you do a lot of teams tournaments? Because if you are in teams tournaments and you've only got your one army, and this is what because we've done a lot of teams tournaments. I'm never able to take my guard.
Yeah,
because you always take guard. So thankfully I've got a few different options where I've been able to take, the 4 teams tournaments I've done, I've taken Necrons twice, Grey Knights once, and a Raven Guard once.
Yeah.
So that all kind of ties into how big into the competitive scene you are.
Yeah.
Or if you just like to bully people at your local gaming store by having what the local hotness is at the moment.
Yeah. What do you think about army hopping, as in selling armies? Because that's another factor. Like, I suppose it's like a sub factor to this whole question and this whole topic of today. Because some people will buy an army, and the moment it gets nerfed, they just sell it. Yeah,
but that's how they enjoy the hobby. I can't do that because I get emotionally attached to my armies. I can't, which is why I'm a natural Tyranid player. I just don't like the army, so it doesn't matter. It could be the most overpowered army on the planet, and I won't touch it because I don't like it. That's how I enjoy the hobby. But then we got.
But you
friends
do like winning.
Yeah, but I like to win my own way.
Winning.
I'd still rather lose with my army than win with just, something that's just been put on. But everyone enjoys the hobby in a different way.
Yeah. I see politician Simon's back out again with his nice answers that don't offend anybody. No, if you army hop, you're a meta-chasing piece of shit. There you are.
But we've got friends who every time you see them they've got a different army and
they've sold the last one.
Yeah, they've sold the last one. I'm sure at some point they probably buy the army back because it's all just going round and round and round. And then the whole 3-colour minimum, and we've been to some big GTs and you get there and you go, what on earth is that monstrosity?
Yeah, someone's clearly not put the effort in.
Yeah, and it's just like, right, there we go. I'm going to Adepticon. What can I get? This is the current hotness. How quickly can I get that on the table? Bosh.
Yeah.
Horses for courses.
Yeah. So what's question number 4 then?
Right. So how much do you play? So if you're playing week in, week out, twice a week, and you've only got one army, the chances are you're going to get bored of that. If you're only playing once every 3 or 4 months and you've only got one army, then it's probably not the end of the world because you've got less chance of getting bored.
Do you think that there is an element of everybody eventually gets a second army after they've played a certain number of games?
See, I was thinking about this. This is a good question. I was thinking about this. I don't know.
Great. Thanks, politician Simon. Because, some people will get a second army like 6 months in or 3 months in.
Yeah.
But they're, like you said, they're playing twice a week, every week, going to the local RTT somewhere every week. They're just absolutely smashing it. And then some people sort of suddenly get a second army after 2 years.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's it's weird because sometimes I think when you break the second army barrier, then it then sort of spirals. Because
Yeah.
there's thingy down at the club who would always played Ultramarines. Always played Ultra. Yeah. Always had Ultramarines. Always. Then he rocked up with Death Guard one week.
Yeah.
And I was
now he's
like,
got Tyranids as well.
Now he's got Tyranids, and I'm like, so if you look at the time between starting Ultramarines and getting his Death Guard was like that, and then his Death Guard to his Tyranids is like that, and then his fourth army might be like, so I don't know if there's an element where actually you're going, ooh.
Yeah, that's interesting. What it's like, you get your first army, and you're like, this is the only thing I will ever need, and then at some point, there's a voice in the back of your head that goes, you know, I've always wanted to try this.
Yeah.
When was the first? What was the motivator for you? So, what was your first army? Still Legion.
Still Legion.
What was your second army?
Well, it was probably it was the Firstborn Raven Guard, but I got them because Kill Team came out.
Okay.
And I was listening to the Raven Guard book at the time for Horus Heresy. And Raven Guard was on the front cover of Kill Team. I really like look, so I got a Kill Team for Raven Guard, and then I was just like, well, actually, I may as well, you know, it's only sort of 30 or 40 infantry, and then that kind of got that done, and then that went on the shelf, and then I always fancied. Then I wanted. I was torn between Orcs and Necrons because I always wanted a Xenos army, and I bought the Orc Codex.
I remember this actually.
Yeah, and then I worked out what I'd need to do and paint. I think because I actually wanted to paint my own army at that point. It was just like, I've got some. So I ended up with Necrons because it was easy to paint, and I really like Necrons.
Yeah, so, I like Necrons. I think if I was to get one more army, I'd get a Necron army.
Yeah. So then I'm not quite sure where the Grey Knights came from, actually, to be honest. That just kind of...
the first time I think I faced you was when with the infamous incident of the 50 conscripts versus 5 paladins, and the 50 conscripts won. Because you just kept failing 2-up saves.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about that. That's like that bloody that other Gene Stealer cult battle report. That's still...
I found that the other day, you know. You were so salty. It was brilliant.
You were so spawny. I mean, I absolutely did not deserve to lose that game.
You had it in the bag.
I did not deserve to lose that game.
You had it in the bag. That's the best. It's great that they're the best games when you 5 years on, we're still talking about it. Yeah, it's a good game.
But then it's a bit weird because I had the one night that I bought from a Brownie was selling a night. And I was just like, oh, that'll do, because I can put that in. It adds a bit of firepower to my list. And then I saw it on eBay. There was like 3 nights going for next to nothing. I thought, oh, well, 4 nights. That's a full army. And then so I bought that, and then it was just that army's just kind of came out of just that cheap stuff on eBay. And obviously I've gone down everything's a different colour scheme, so it doesn't need to match. They're all just like yeah. And I'm desperately fighting not to get Drakari.
I don't think you like them. I don't think they're your guys, man.
I know.
Right, so you know how fragile your Grey Knights feel?
Yeah, wait, yeah.
Now imagine how...
No, I am fighting the good fight, to be fair.
If you get Drakari, I'll get Eldar, because I already own everything for Eldar. It's in the pile of shame.
Yeah, let's not talk about that. You'll get my OCD kicking. But anyway, going back to the original point, how often do you play? Do you like hobbying? You know, this is all kind of into the same sort of, you know, because if you like hobbying, then great, you're going to if you don't really like hobbying and it's a necessary evil, you're probably going to have fewer armies.
Because you're probably if you're going to be playing with them, they're going to be painted, you're probably going to be putting funds towards getting them commission painted. You just buy a local mate or something.
Yeah, or you're just like, thought of painting a full army is just, no, don't want to do it.
Yeah.
So that all kind of fits in. So I guess if you're playing a lot and you like hobbying and you're cash rich, then you'll probably end up with more armies than someone who doesn't like hobbying, doesn't play very often, and doesn't really want to spend the money or can't.
Yeah. Do you want to know something mental? Completely off topic.
Yeah. No.
So
probably not.
Well, no. It's just a very quick side note.
Are you going to tell me anyway?
I'm going to tell you anyway.
Why did you?
So
offer
you
me
know
the
about
chance to not hear it?
Because I like to give the illusion of choice. So you know, obviously, commission painting is well known.
Yeah.
I know someone who is a commission builder for Warhammer.
Yeah. Ooh.
So Warhammer models have got so fiddly now, people can't be bothered building them. So he doesn't paint them. All he does is build them and make sure that their pieces go together nicely. He's got all he does basically is glue and green stuff.
Yeah.
That's it. He doesn't even do that many custom poses. It's literally just building them as per the instructions. But there's so many people out, and that's his full-time job now.
Really?
Just building models for people.
See, I quite enjoy building. If I could build and not paint, I'd be quite happy.
Well, become a commission builder.
No, I've got to. Yeah, I can see how that goes. You know, this business we built up. Yeah, I'm going to stop that so I can build.
Yeah, it's time
soldiers.
You've talked about how many armies is too many. How many jobs is too many, Simon? That's the question.
Well, I don't know. I'll let me know if you ever get one.
All right, come on then. What's question number 5, you big bastard?
Right, and this is a bit tongue-in-cheek and very 40k. Do you like Space Marines?
Well, it's not. Yeah, I know what you mean. It's a good question though. If you don't, then don't play 40k.
No, but if you like Space Marines, then you're always going to have an up-to-date codex. You're always going to have new kits to do. You're always going to have lots to go at.
New play styles. You can do Horde with Marines, tank spam. You can do everything.
So, and here's the thing, right? I think this is a controversial opinion. Unless you really, 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 really dislike Space Marines, or you just dislike them, or you know your job revolves around talking at Imperial Guard, or whatever you do, then everyone should have a Space Marine army.
I think everyone does end up with a Space Marine army eventually. Yeah. I've got fucking 2 of them.
Yeah, because, and here's the thing that if I could go back now and change what I did, because actually, if you get your Space Marines and you just build your core Space Marines and you don't paint them as Raven Guard, you paint them as something, then all you need is you just buy some Blood Angel specific, and then you got a Blood Angels army. You then just buy some you buy some Ultramarine characters, or you buy some Space Wolf characters, or you buy some. So you can actually have 4 or 5 different armies in one.
Yeah,
in one army.
I think there's definitely. So I've often thought about this myself. Like, would I be better just selling everything and just completely no-lifing one faction, and everything that's for my Steel Legion, paint that over into the Mordians, everything for my Scions, paint that over into the Mordians, and just completely and utterly dedicate myself to like one army. And also, you know, and then obviously applying the same logic, basically, would a player be better doing the same thing with Space Marines? I think there is one great flaw in the argument, which is that it's too logical.
Yes. Yeah.
And human beings are not logical.
Yeah.
And I think when you get into that point, yes, that's probably the most efficient way of doing things, but also that it's an element of you starting to treat it like a job then at that point.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's tongue-in-cheek said everyone should have Space Marines, but if you do, my point is, if you do have Space Marines and you do like Space Marines, then you're never going to get bored by not having new kits to build. You're never going to
have new characters.
You're going to have new characters, you're going to have new rules, you're going to have your new codex at the start of every edition. You're potentially going to get 2 codexes. You're always going to have... So if you do have a Space Marine army, you probably need fewer armies than if you didn't.
You just have one massive Marine army.
Well, no, I mean, I've got I'm playing catch up with my Raven Guard, but actually that if you've answered all these questions, you go, actually, I've worked all this out, and my number is 3. I should have 3 armies. If a Space Marine, you only need 2. If your magic number is 5 and you got Space Marines, you only need 4.
I think
that's completely scientific.
I think what's kind of interesting is that you say collect Space Marines as like a general army, but then most Space Marine players don't collect Space Marines. They collect Imperial Fists or Raven Guard. Or
yeah.
So even the people that collect Marines often go, well, I can't take Tor Gowden. He's an Imperial Fist character. I have to take, you know. Yeah, exactly, right?
But my point, that was a tongue-in-cheek. But, mate, my point is, if you collect Space Marines, you need fewer armies than you normally would do because you always have lots of options. And there will always be new kits, new rules, new detachments, new... So if you do like Space Marines, and I'm not suggesting for a second anyone should collect Space Marines if they don't like them, because that would be absolutely ridiculous. But if you do like Space Marines, or you do have Space Marines, then you know that's going to fill more of a gap than Emperor's Children, for argument's sake. And you could actually say the same about Imperial Guard to an extent, that there's enough there to get your teeth into that you can have
everything.
Yeah,
I think there are certain factions, and I think it's obvious which ones they are. That they're what I would call the old guard, the ones that have been around for a long time at this point, which have a huge advantage. No one talks about this. Huge advantage over some of the newer factions, because they just have so much to pick from. Like, you know, there will be times when your World Eaters will be genuinely unusable because you just don't have. Your faction is so... It's funny. Do you know what? We're asking this question from a player perspective, but there isn't a whole thing about maybe GW should ask this question of themselves. How many factions is too many? Because a faction comes out and then you have to wait 2 years before you get your second wave, and it might not even solve all the problems that you have. Like, look at Votann, for example. Votann came out towards the end of 9th. 3 years later, they got their second wave. Do they have a medium tank yet? They're dying. They're crying out for a medium tank, but they don't have one. So
let's just be clear. Who cares about Votann?
Okay. World Eaters have been out for 3 years at this point.
Right now I'm interested in this conversation, yes.
They've been out for 3 years at this point, and the only new model I think they got, and World Eater players can correct me, but I think the only new model they've got since their release is the Slaughterbound character and the slightly different cultist with robot legs.
Yeah.
So there's an element of how many armies is too many for us as players, but how many armies is too many for GW? Because they're constantly playing catch up.
Well, they're constantly printing money as well, so
That's true.
I mean,
now, there is
let's be honest. They launched Emperor's Children. I sat there at the football and kind of looked at it at half time and going, "Oh, should I? Shouldn't I?" I wasn't planning on getting an Emperor's Children army. I drove. Thought, I'll call in at the Games Workshop store on the way home. Do you have a box set left? Yes. Okay, I'll have that. Sat there and then sold it 6 months later. Yeah. So who's a dickhead here?
No, well, it does actually. I don't think you're a dickhead at all. I've actually been in a similar boat because I did something similar with Sisters in 8th edition.
Yeah,
it's just the battle. I won a Sisters army, bought it all, painted it all, and sold it. Played one game with it and went, nah, sold it.
Yeah,
and it's just I think there is one question we haven't asked or answered, and I actually almost think, not to get boring and not to get full Simon mode, but to get negative for a moment. I think you've only been playing only, and I say only very much in air quotes because it's not. I don't mean it in a derogatory way. Been playing since 8th edition.
Yeah,
but you and I think could be considered longbeards in this hobby. And
okay,
the reason why this is very important is because we're here talking about how many armies is too many.
Yeah.
But the reality of the situation is that the affordability of Warhammer has very much changed. So the 6th question, the mythical 6th question, Simon, the one that I'm bringing to the table. See, I didn't do my research. You've inspired me to ask this question, Simon. how many armies is too many? Well, for some people, that's not even on the table. Because
that's a fair point. Yeah.
And would you say not only? And I would say this is I would say this isn't even a problem or a question which is being posed to those people who are maybe who are slightly less fortunate, shall we say, to try and be polite about it. But I think it's a question which is affecting all wargamers, because I think I bet there's been a few. Simon, you're someone who works very hard and has a successful business. Well done. And I mean that sincerely. I've seen you quick, not to give away the deep lore of Simon, but Simon started his holiday travel business during COVID.
Well, I negotiated my voluntary redundancy 2 days before lockdown.
Excellent. But the point is you literally have built your successful business through the hardest of times, and now you are reaping the reward, and you do very well and everything, which is very good. But you're someone who has a successful business. You're someone, and I bet you have had to go at some point. Had to go. I could let that army.
But you know what, and that's exactly correct. And that's even I'm looking at Jakari, and that's a big factor in it. Is how much would it cost to buy another army?
Yeah, and not just the cost, but now the maintenance. As we said, you're paying catch up, right?
Yeah, and then to be fair, my Grey Knights, I've got a mix of metal and plastic because I got that. That's an eBay, lots of different eBay rescues. My Necrons, I've got a lot of that was eBay rescue. It's a day do, and I think anyone who's new into the hobby probably start. It's a really good point, because if you're still there working on your first army, one's probably more than enough. So I think it's
one. Yeah. Well, I think so. And do you want to know something, man? Like, it's funny how this is like the point that we come to at the end of the video. What's the number one factor of me thinking of selling my armies? It's money. Now, I'm very fortunate, thanks to the support that I get from this community. It's not a case of I'm having to sell money to buy, sell models to get food. It's a point of, it's that maintenance cost. Why have I not played with my Genestealer cult? Because the cost of keeping up to date. Why am I thinking of selling my Black Templars? Because the cost of keeping them up to date. Why am I thinking of transferring everything into the Mordian 50th Rifles? Because the cost of keeping 4 guard armies up to date is astronomical. Why am I getting more interested in games which are more completed, like the army's completed? Because there's no maintenance cost to it. So I think, how many armies is too many? I think there's going to be two people there's going to be two halves of the wargaming community which are going to come at this question. And one of the halves is going to be, are you a new wargamer who pays £40 per Chimera? Or are you an old wargamer like me and Simon, who, and some people are going to shit the bed when they hear this, bought their Chimeras new in box from GW for £20? Yeah. That was the cost. When you think about that, and that wasn't like back in the 90s. That was, end of 8th edition.
Yeah.
That's 5 years ago, 6 years ago. Yeah.
You have actually just hit my last point, but there you go.
Was that something you were going to bring up, was it?
Well, my final point was going to be, all depends on personal circumstances.
Yes. Yeah.
So you've kind of put it a bit more eloquently than me, but and I think
me eloquent. Check around the ears for the Skinwalker staples.
But I think GW is horrifically expensive. But then, a bit of a shout out to Warlord, because we were just talking about this before we started. The mystery army.
He's bringing it up. Not me. He's bringing it up.
But those mystery Black Friday boxes, £75 for an army, in bolt action. So, and I know they're not available now, but I'm sure they will be in the future.
They come around 2 or 3 times a year. Yeah.
Yeah. So there are options for things like that. 3D printing and eBay rescues, but I do agree. It's sitting here going, you should have 6 you should have 6. And please, I hope no one thinks that I'm suggesting for a second that you should have 6 fully painted 40k armies, because that ridiculously expensive, and that's not what we're getting at. It's
well, there's two sides to the coin. There'll be some people that, you know, and we're very respectful to everyone. There'll be some people that getting one army is a monumental task, and there'll be some people where getting 6 armies will be it's a rounding error.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so, you know, there's a lot of different people that play Warhammer these days, but you know, for some people it's you know, money is no object. For some people, money is an object. But yeah, I think it's
time as well.
It's time. Well, that's a bit. Well, actually, that is a big one, because the models are much harder to build now.
Yeah.
And so I find myself getting to the end of building one squad, and I'm like, fuck me, this was a ball ache. I don't want like that's. I noticed it was off topic before, but you know, we know there's the financial. There's not. So I think it sort of come down to like 3 factors. These 5 questions sort of encapsulate 3 factors, which is time, money, and passion.
Yeah.
And each one
time,
is a
money,
limited...
passion, and play style, or what, you know, how you play. I mean, that's
what I mean is time, money, and passion as 3 resources that you're willing to spend.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Because money's obviously an obvious resource, time's an obvious, but passion, you know, if you're building something and you spend all your passion on one army, or you start finding that this resource, this army you're building is sucking your passion away because the models are a ball ache and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, you don't enjoy painting them.
You don't enjoy painting them. It's like you said earlier, there is a hobby aspect to this.
Yeah, of course there is. Yeah. And some people really like to hobby. I mean, there's one of Debbie's friends. She got a new boyfriend. I mean, it's really.
I thought you said Debbie got a new boyfriend. Then I was like, whoa. I mean, I'm not gonna judge, man. Like, different strokes, different folks. You're just gonna sit there in the chair. Like, that's okay.
but anyway, so we went round to the house, and he's got a hobby room, and we got talking, and he's in the hobby. But he doesn't really play. He's really into the hobby, and he's painting. He's got a studio, and his models are absolutely really, really great paint jobs. And I'm like, and he just doesn't enjoy playing, but he loves painting, and it's just absolutely carbon. I love playing.
Yeah.
Dislike painting. I'm like, all right, well there you go, pal. Let's knock yourself out.
Yeah. I got some models for you.
Yeah, there you go. That's But that's a really interesting. I wish I enjoyed the hobby aspect more than I do, but for me it's a chore.
I quite enjoy the sense of completion.
I like that. Don't get me wrong. I mean, when we went to teams in June, and I could put my Raven Guard finally on the table, that started in lockdown. That's how long they were going for.
Yeah.
Or taking my Grey Knights to Adepticon, loved doing that. Taking my Italians to your event, So I like that, and I like that element of it.
Yeah.
But I don't like the God knows how many hours. And the worst thing is, when I'm painting, I put YouTube, and I end up watching some of your bloody output, and I'm just like, oh Christ alive!
You can never escape the Mordian. The Mordiverse is infinite.
Let's look at my life choices at this point.
So so I think we have to put a number on it, though.
Well, I've got my number. I've sat and I've answered all these questions, and I've got my number.
Okay, I'm going to think about my number, and I'm going to give it a proper. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll think out loud. So, do you want to say your number first?
Yes.
Okay.
And I know it's right. My number's 5.
Okay. Is that because you've got 5 armies?
It is, but it also because I've not actually started any new armies. Did you keep talking about Jakari, and I got Emperor's Children and Assault? So actually, I've not bought, or actually, I have bought, but I haven't actually really committed to doing any new armies now since. It's 18 months since I got my Knights, and that was just a really, spur of the moment. That's too good to turn down.
Yeah.
So that is why I kind of probably know for me, and I'm not playing as much. as I used to. But I think for me personally, fortunately, I got a lot of them at a really good price back in the day. But in theory, I will always have a semi-up-to-date codex, something new to play with. You know, in June, I'll have the new Space Marine codex. So that's for 40k.
Yeah. So let's put my lamp on.
And then I think for everything else, it's 2.
Okay, interesting. It's why 2?
Just so I've got 2 options.
So there's going to be times when you want to play Old World with elves, and there's going to be times when you want to play Old World with goblins. There's going to be times when you want to play. Basically, it's to have a reliable than a wacky option.
Yeah, basically. I mean, that's probably true actually. So you look at my bolt action army. I've got the bonkers Italians and British paras.
And you always pick the Italians, even though the Brits are obviously better. You always pick...
It's because you like them on the channel, because you can do your stupid voices.
And I like how they... I like them in general. I live my Italian life vicariously.
Yeah.
So, have you seen the new army book for the Italians?
No, has it been previewed?
You can go on Osprey and you can preview it.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Nice.
Whilst you're doing that, I'm just gonna have a quick think myself. I think I might end up on a similar thing, man, because I've got.
Oh my word! Hello, Armies of Italy.
You can't buy it, but you can pre-order it, I think, or preview it, like the front cover. It looks quite nice, the front cover.
I didn't know I wasn't sure if they'd get. Actually, I did know they were getting a full. A full.
I think them and the French are getting one.
Published 23rd of April 26. Not long now.
Not long now at all. Yeah.
Go get in. Overpowered Italians incoming.
Hopefully. Right. They weren't the soft underbelly. They weren't. For myself, I have Guard. And whilst it's multiple Guard armies, it does kind of... It's probably one faction.
Yeah,
Guard just does so many different play styles, but I like my Guard. And I like my Tyranids.
Yeah.
They're probably my 2 favorite armies that I own.
Yeah.
Guard Tyranids. I quite like playing Tau. I do. But mostly because I like them. They're basically just speedy Guard.
Yeah.
I don't play Tau like Tau players play them.
Nope.
So I like my Tau. If I had to... It might. I mean, thing is, my guard is 3 armies, because I think Pure Scions is a very different play style to.
Yeah, I can give you that one, but you know,
I'm thinking maybe 4 for me. I like my Guard. I like me Scions. I like me Tyranids. And I like my Tau. If I had to... If the men with guns came and made me sell some armies to get down to 4 or 5, I think at this point, probably... The thing is, I don't want to sell on Black Devils, but it's only for emotional purposes.
Yeah. Not
for practical ones. Same with Gene Silical.
And that's my point. I don't think I could sell any of the ones I've got.
Yeah.
I could, if we didn't convert them to Old World, I'd sell my Gloomspite, because I just don't get on with thingy. And to be honest, and I think this is why K47 hasn't really gelled with me, is I don't want to commit to it. I think I'm also at capacity for game systems.
Yeah. Yeah.
Other than Necromunda, I'm like, you know what? Not got room. Not. I'll play it. you know, it's a game I'll play. Whereas old world, 40k bolt action, yes.
So do you know what, man? I'll tell you this. I actually could happily go down to 2 40k armies, just 2. Garden nids.
Yeah.
Happily. Every other army I've got, I could happily, or I could sell the towel. They're not mine. I just give them back to my brother.
Yeah.
You know, but I could. You know, I like playing. I do like playing them, but I could happily go down to just garden nids. Do you know where my focus now is actually game systems?
Yeah.
So I'm slightly. I think 5 is the number, but for me it's Tyranids and Guard, and then it goes Old World, because there's very low maintenance to Old World, Bolt Action, and Conflict 47. That gets me to 5. That's
but then I like to, and this is all my rules. This is why my rules are correct. If we say, right,
the scientific, the hypothesis, the theory has been proven.
Right, okay, right. If we go down a little checklist, right, Tim and Simon, right, do you like different play styles? Me, yes, you, no. Right? Are you competitive? Yes. Are you completionist? Me, yes, you, no.
50%. Yes for not 40k, but no for 40k. My guard army will never be finished. Never.
So that's what I mean. So what was the other one? Do you like Space Marines? Me, yes, you, no. So that probably disproves my list, actually, because but I think the big one, I've gone through that, is the big question is, do you like different play styles? Because if you do,
that's the big one.
And if you don't, then you'll just stick to what you know. So Simon's rule of 5 is actually Simon's rule of 1.
Do you like different play styles?
Okay. So well, there you go. Thanks for that. An hour and 20 minutes of watching this to turn out that I'm talking at my arse again. And
No. I think it was a good process to go through for both of us, because we hadn't talked about this beforehand. I didn't even know you had these questions beforehand. Yeah.
These are my musings.
Musings, yes, it's a good word. That musings.
I think, having said that, you go back to, are you competitive? When your army hasn't been competitive, you've just gone on to different game systems.
Yeah.
Whereas I'd put, my natural inclination would be to pick a different army up off the shelf. So that's still valid.
Yeah, no, I think that's the case. I think if I was to try and bring all of this together, maybe from my perspective, how many armies is too many? Or how many armies is the right number? For me, for 40k, I think you can just do one army. But if you're only going to do one army, you have to accept there's going to be times when your army's going to feel shit.
Yeah.
So then it comes, what's the other game system you're going to play?
Yeah.
That's it.
So essentially, we've got an hour and 20, and we've got to. It depends.
No, I think it's. I think 5. I actually think 5 is the right number. I think 5 is the right number.
I'm comfortable with that, and I'm lucky enough to be able to own 5 armies. But I like it because I'm going to have, in a 3-year edition, I'm going to have 5 codex drops at some point.
5 things to look forward to.
Yeah. And that's kind of, I've got 5, and it's a bit annoying when 2 drop right on top of each other, like the Knights and the Grey Knights. But having said that, at the beginning of the edition, Space Marines, then Necrons, then Imperial Guard all kind of came out 6 months apart. It was quite nice.
Yeah. It is funny, man. I'm just going through this conversation with you has almost convinced me to just completely go back to my roots and just play Guard. Almost completely. But I think that's just a temporary state of being, because I think we quite like being able to play different armies against each other.
Yeah.
As
does the viewing public.
Indeed. So, in summary, 5.
5 and 5, we think.
5. We are not, Simon. That is our number.
If resources allow you to.
If resources allow you to, that is our number. But we should ask the viewers at home what their answers to the 5 questions were. So read them out again.
So, do you like different playstyles? Are you a completionist? Are you a competitive or a meta chaser? Do you like how often do you play? How much do you like hobbying?
Yeah.
And do you like Space Marines?
So those are the 5 questions. If you watch this video, those are the 5 questions you need to ask yourself. And with the Mordian 6 question, how are your resources? Your 3 resources.
That's an overlay around everything.
And once you've answered those questions, what number do you get? Because because 40k players and wargamers in general, they like numbers.
Yes.
And we've come up with a number that we think works for us. You've got 5 armies in 40k, and I've got 5, but it kind of is 2 40k armies, and then each other game system I collect is like playing one
other army.
One other army. Yeah. So there you go.
I mean, I probably wouldn't have started Old World unless, if I wasn't playing you regularly. And I love Old World. I love Old World, but there's not the around me to play it. So other than you, so that's I probably would have just played bolt action in 40k.
That's an interesting topic for the day. But I will say one thing. It's completely off topic, but I think I want to sort of leave with this little thought provoker. We consider ourselves quite competitive players, and we do play a lot of competitive 40k. But there is something, and you'll say, no, there isn't because you only ever bring cannons, but that's not true. I bring my orcs as well. There is something quite nice. I feel like I've rediscovered it. I don't know about you, but I feel like I've rediscovered that almost other side of wargaming, which it's just you and like 1 or 2 other mates that just play it consistently. And there's that more personal aspect of it occasionally we're going to bring something really hard against each other, but actually most of the time we take into consideration the other person that we're going to be playing regularly, and we don't try and like fuck them. Like, I actually would say that the most fun that we've ever had is when I've brought quite uncompetitive mindset to Old World, and the least fun we've had is when I brought a competitive mindset to it. But that's because it was only you and I playing against each other. So
yeah, and I think that's probably the same with bolt action. Like I've said repeatedly, bolt action is very easy to break, and I think if I went to a competitive bolt action tournament, I would come back spitting feathers.
I have done that, to be honest.
And I never to play the game ever again.
I actually went to a couple of bolt action tournaments, and I came away from them thinking that's fine. Like, well, people will enjoy that, but I was like, that's not the way I like to play that game. If I want to play that, why wouldn't I play 40k?
Yeah.
But that's completely off topic. Yeah. So we shall wrap up. So in 1 hour and 23 minutes, we have come to our answer is 5, but you guys have to answer how many armies is too many, and does that transcend game systems for you? And there's no right or wrong answer. I think it's a personal answer for each person. I think you could very well say 1. Some people may say none. Some people are like, fuck 40k, 0. That might be your answer. But I think for a lot of people, I think the answer of 1 will be very valid, especially as we said, take into account the more modern financial landscape of 40k's affordability and all that kind of stuff. But let us know how. That's a good question. Not when you answer the questions. That's a good point. When you answer the questions, let us know if you're a newer player or an older grognard, because it'll be interesting to see if there is a bit of a. We can sort of eyeball the comments and see if there is a bit of a split there.
Yeah.
Simon, any final thoughts?
I think the average is going to be 3.
You think the average is going to be 3? I think the average could be 3.
I think people are going to have, on average, the main army, the guard, in your case, the Tyranids, and there'll be that 3rd one that they've started that is kind of sat in the background that gets played occasionally. But that's my theory.
I think people will go. I think what happens is people go up to sort of 5, 6, 7, and across multiple games, and then they contract again. Yeah. I think there's a bit of boom and bust.
I think the other thing, though, having said about all this, I think some of these questions go both ways. Because now we've sat and had the conversation. So, are you a completionist? Right? For me, it's just like I like to have an army done. I don't like to have it sitting. Now that leads to me playing 5 different armies, whereas you're just like. But some people would go, well, surely if you've only got one army, it's easier to complete because you can just build everything there is. So that could go either way. Are you competitive? There's an argument that says if you're competitive, just know 2 armies. And I've said it myself. No one army, but one army better than. Was
it Bruce Lee that said, "Don't fear the man that knows 1,000 kicks. Fear the man that has done one kick 1,000 times."
Yeah. And me, I've said multiple times I play my Steel Legion better than any other army because I know it. So actually, that could go both ways.
Yeah.
So that's kind of. So it's interesting to actually, because those questions could go either way.
So it depends.
Yeah. That goes back to it depends. There you go. Quality content. Thank you very much. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas.
Hope you had a great Christmas.
It will be have a great Christmas. Hope you had a great Christmas and probably a great New Year by the time this one goes out, but we'll see.
But I'm sorry to have wasted an hour and a half of your time for us to get to. It depends.
It depends.
Yeah.
But no, I think it's more the process, isn't it? Rather than the answer. But that's me being Mordian, MP for Tim, MP for Mordian. There you go. But I think we'll wrap it up there, Simon, if you're happy to do so.
Well, yeah.
There we go. Back to Football Manager.
Yep. Nice. I've got Man City away. I think we're going to get battered.
Okay. Do you know what I've been getting back into? The original Mass Effect. Do you ever play it?
Yeah. I prefer Dragon Age.
Fair. I just got the Legendary Edition on Steam and it's been really good. I highly recommend it. Anyway, now we really are off topic. Gentlemen, ladies, small furry creature from Alpha Centauri, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Like we said, please leave your comments down below. I think it'll be really interesting to see the answers. And yeah, like we said, hope you've had a great Christmas and New Year and all that kind of stuff. Don't forget to like and subscribe because we're trying to build the channel and it would be a great Christmas and New Year's present, but it's already been a belated one. There you are. But on a serious note, by the time this video, I think it is worth mentioning. Thank you so much to all of you who have liked and subscribed all of these Saltcasts over the year, because we've been doing this for nearly a year now, Simon.
Can't believe people tune in for this rubbish.
I know. I think we have some good thoughts.
Well, I mean, yeah, okay.
This was definitely not his 40k dog shit, though. No,
well, that's hard to get you away from that. But then all it needed was like a detachment that what you considered to be quite strong, and then you got your little you got all Randy Marsh.
And now I'm like, I don't want to play any of the factions. I just want to play card again. But no, on a serious note, thank you to all of you who over the last year have watched Simon and I waste our finite existence on this earth talking shit. But I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope you look forward to enjoying it next year as well. And on that note, thank you for watching, and of course, as always, we'll see you guys next time. Would you like to know more? If so, then please consider becoming a channel member or patron. By supporting the channel, not only will you be doing your part, but you'll also be helping me create more content for your viewing pleasure and unlocking a whole host of perks. You get everything from a badge next to your name, custom emojis, but the big one is access to the Mordian Glory Discord server, an online community with almost 2,500 active members. It's always popping off in the MG Discord. We've got channels for army lists, hobbying, tactics, stories, and even a pretty spicy meme section as well. For all you greenhorns that wanted to see the Mordian Glory Hole, Today is a lucky day. And joking aside, I do want to say a massive thank you to all of the current channel members and Patreons. You guys are amazing. Truly the lifeblood of the channel. I could not do Mordian Glory full-time without the incredible and generous support of my members. So thank you guys so much. And last but certainly not least, I want to say a personal thank you to all of my top tier Patreons. These are the War Masters, the people who have truly gone above and beyond the call of duty. So a heartfelt thank you to Redfield, 32, Jurgens, Miasma, Try Again, Bragg, RJ, Scorpion, Bonbon Vert, Lord Pryor, Nicholas Walsh, John Stubbs, Guardian, Varney, Sword, Fish Trombone, Picklock the Forged. Seriously guys, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Your support is incredible and it makes a huge difference. Thank you so much. That's all for now. Hope you've all enjoyed today's video, and of course, as always, see you guys next time.